Good morning, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live this first Wednesday of June with my monthly card class to go. So if you are brand new to watching my videos, I am live every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And each week it's kind of something different. The first Wednesday of the month is a card class to go. This is open for 1 week. And basically what it is after you've watched the video and seen the cards created, if you place a $60 or more order with me using my host code, then you will get a make and take pack to create the cards that I create today. The second Wednesday of the month is usually just some featured stamp set or bundle. And usually I try to throw in like a technique or something. The third Wednesday of the month is my paper pumpkin unboxing and alternative cards. And then the last Wednesday of the month is I choose a layout from the catalog and we create 3 cards using that layout. So I'm so happy to have you join me here today. This week has been a little bit weird. If you're watching this on the replay on Facebook, it's because I could not get this video to link to Facebook, not to a page or to a group. I'm not really sure why. So I'm here live on YouTube, and then we'll put the replay onto Facebook later. So yeah, thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to zoom into my desktop now, and we're going to get started. So today I am playing with the Happy Little Things bundle. Now, if you get this card kit, you actually don't need the bundle because I will pre-cut your dies for you. However, starting today, Stampin' Up! Has an amazing sale on their bundles. Bundles are always 10% off anyways, but for the month of June, starting today, Stampin' Up! Is making bundles 10% off their already 10% off price. So I am using the Happy Little Things bundle, and you can actually grab this for $40.25 today because of that sale. So it's a pretty awesome one. Also, if you don't have a machine yet or wanted an extra machine, Stampin' Up! Has their machines on 10% off as well, which I've never seen that happen. So it's pretty awesome. So yeah, this is what we're using. I'm going to set these things off to the side so we can start crafting. And then you'll see in my background is very, very colorful. I've paired it up with the, what's it called? Flowering Zinnias 12 by 12 designer series paper. And so it's some really fun, beautiful leaves and flowers, and then some awesome patterns. We've got like stripes and flowers, bigger flowers, little plus signs and more flowers. The gorgeous purple plaid with some flowers on the other side. There's more of our green. And our green, of course, has the leaves on the other side. This sheet I love because you can cut it in half and use it as full card fronts, which we're actually doing today with the beautiful zinnias. But the other side's a really fun pattern as well. And then we have the fun florals with a very nice soft petal pink polka dot on the other side. So that is the designer series paper that is featured in today's card kit. So our first card is this one here. So in your kit, you'll get the designer series paper and die cuts and everything that you need to do it. And you'll get enough stuff to make 2 of each card. Just set that off to the side. Actually, put that upside down like that. There we go. So I'm going to show you guys how we created this fun little card. The designer series paper really does a lot of the heavy lifting on this one. So we have a card base, and you can see that it's not quite a full card base because I wanted to be able to show off some of the DSP on the inside of the card as well when we looked at the front. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our liquid glue or whatever preferred adhesive you have, and we're going to adhere our designer series paper to the front. Now I love this one because the way you can cut it, you can actually get a lot of card fronts out of this. Remember, if you always cut it at 4 or 3 or 2, then you're going to be able to get equal multiples out of your 12-inch paper and really be able to make this DSP go a long way. All right. It's when you start adding in those 1/4 inches that you start to lose some of your DSP. All right. So we've got that one glued there, and then I'm going to take my green and glue it to the inside. I am going to leave a slight border on it. So when I come in here, oh, good morning, Kim. I'm going to glue that just like that. So just a little border, top, bottom, and side. Now when I close my card, voila, we've already got that. Oh, why did I skip back to that view? There we go. Now you guys have a good view of my desktop again. Sorry there. All right, so that is our card base all set and ready to go. I'm now going to do some stamping. So I'm going to put that up to the side. And we've got our 2 pieces here to stamp on. One of them is a tiny little label that was cut using the dies from the Happy Little Things stamp set. And so that's actually the one we're going to start on. I am going to bring out my embossing buddy because this is a darker color, and I don't know, my hands were probably all over this paper while I was cutting it. So I just want to take any oils off of there that might be there. And then I'm going to get my Versamark ink and ink up the Little Things stamp. And then I do like to turn mine vertical to do this stamping because I find I can get my images stamped a bit straighter when I do that. All right. Something about if you're not focusing on the letters, then you're focusing on like the actual orientation of it. Now I'm picking this up with my tweezers. These do come in your Embossing Editions kit, and I'm going to use them while I put that through my embossing powder that's in my tray that also comes with your Embossing Editions kit. And then I'm just going to make sure I have no extra little bits of white powder on here. All right, and then we're going to use the heat tool to melt this. Perfect. All right. Oh yeah, it just makes it so much easier, Kim. I do so much embossing, being that it's so easy to emboss. I love it. All right, so with that done, now we're going to do our Great Big Celebrate. This is going to be a personal preference as to whether or not you do your outline first or your inside first. I personally do my outline first. I'm not really sure why, but that works best for me. So I am going to ink up the outline of the word celebrate using Memento black ink. And again, I am going to turn that horizontally. I'm also going to stand up. And I'm going to do my best to center it and make it straight. It's not that hard because these are photopolymer. So there we go. And then I'm going to take my inside, my filler stamp, and ink that up with Berry Burst ink. And then this is a little bit harder, but not bad. Oh, whoa, I really messed that up. All right. But actually, you know what? So it was off, but the cool thing about this stamp is that all of them are off. So now it looks like I have like a fun little, like that 3D look to it. So depending on, you know, how you like to stamp, you may want to re-stamp that. I actually think I'm going to. As cool as it looks, it's not the look I was going for. So now if you have a Stamparatus or something, you could definitely use this, use the Stamparatus to do this. It would definitely help. Or you could just, you know, that was a little bit lower than I wanted. Oh well, that's because I didn't do it horizontally. You know, or you just grab another piece of paper and give it a second shot. I know exactly what went wrong there. So I'm going to line up my C, line up my E, but then I'm going to go back and double check that my C is lined up before I stamp. And there we go. All right, much better. Okay, so we have our Celebrate stamped. Now I am going to attach the Celebrate to my card. I'm actually going to check my fingers and make sure I don't have berry burst ink on them. Good. I'm going to attach this to my card. Where you attach it is going to depend on where your flowers lie on your card. You want to make the best use of like being able to see all of them. So I'm going to be covering up these leaves here in the middle. I'm going to attach that with dimensionals, but what I'm actually going to do to put these dimensionals on is I'm going to get that centered. I'm going to flip this upside down. Now this is the back. I know it's got stamping on it. And I'm going to put 3 of them on here, but notice how I'm making sure to keep it just on this side, nothing over here. All right, now I can peel those off and come back and center this again. And put that down. There we go. All right, so now that I've got that done, I can take the little things and I'm going to put adhesive again just on part of it. So just the part that's on the front, and I'm going to use a dry adhesive so that it will stick quickly. So, and I'm not even going that far. Dry adhesives are pretty solid. They're going to stick really quickly. And I don't want to accidentally glue my card shut, so we're not going all the way. And then I'm tucking that under and pushing it down. All right, now the last thing to do to this card is to add some embellishments, and I've got the iridescent faceted gems. These look a lot bigger in the catalog than they actually are. And I am just going to put 2 on here. Now where you put them is again going to depend on your designer series paper. So these 2 on this card, I'm actually going to put way up there. I put on my original card kind of in more to the middle because that's kind of how the pattern fell. And that is our first card completed. So in your little kit, if you place an order with me this week, you'll get enough stuff to make 2 of this card. So it's beautiful. I love the colors on this DSP and I love the sentiments in this stamp set. Oh, thank you, Kim. All right, set that to the side. This next card was inspired by another card that I had seen quite a while ago. That actually used some fussy cut flowers from the DSP. I didn't want to do that. So I have brought in the Petal Park Punch to create this beautiful card. So you'll get all of your DSP and twine, your embossed layers, everything you need in your card kit. And let's get crafting. So this beautiful one, you even get all your pieces punched from your Petal Park Punch. Ugh, that's a mouthful. So it's quite a lot of stuff in this one. We have a Blackberry Bliss base, which means that, of course, we need an insert. So you have just your plain white. I should move that ink off to the side. So we're going to start by gluing that base in and our embossed front of our card. Now that embossed front is embossed with the Layered Florals 3D embossing folder. It is crazy thick and absolutely beautiful. I've seen so many great cards with it, and I just love the big bold flowers and everything on it. So we're going to take that layer and glue it straight to our card front. So although we do have this very dark Blackberry Bliss, we're really covering it and lightening it up with all of these white layers. All right. There we go. All right. So with that done, I am going to grab my designer series paper, and these 3 pieces are going to get adhered to our card front. Now, if you watched my 1 layout 3 cards video last Wednesday, you might recognize this design. I just did it again. I grabbed the same layout, turned it on its side, changed up my colors and stamps, and here we go. So this layout is just really such a fun and easy one to use. Now, to adhere these DSP strips, because we're working on kind of a really rough and bumpy surface, you can use liquid glue, or I would recommend something really quite strong like Seal Plus. You want something that's really going to grab that background. Now, I like to do my 2 outside ones and then center my middle one. I just find that that's easier. Now, I do use this kind of as a guide for top and bottom, but here we go. Move that over a bit. Yeah, okay. And then we'll glue in the center one. You made the cards already from your coffee and cards. Awesome, Kim. I'm so glad. Yeah, and then I do have a June coffee and cards coming up, and I've actually already set the date for my July one. And I've put the link into this video. I believe it's July 6th. So check those out. All right. So that is our base that we've got going on. Now we're going to create our centerpiece that's going onto our card. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and we're going to grab a bunch of stuff over here. So I've got this white piece. It is going to go onto our Blackberry Bliss, but before I do that, I'm going to do my stamping. So I'm actually going to stamp my Are Incredible first. Now to do that, I'm going to have to clean up some of my other stamps so that I can get my new stamps onto these blocks. I find that the images for this one require some larger blocks, not your average paper pumpkin size. Something quite a bit longer, because your Celebrate and your Wishing are very long. And then even this Are Incredible is just a little too big to fit onto your little blocks. It's too wide. So we're going to put all of these onto wider blocks. All right. So let's put away the little things, and we're going to pull out Are Incredible, if I can see it, read it. You are incredible. So yeah, sorry. It actually says you are incredible, but I am just using the Are Incredible from it. All right, so I'm going to put that right on there. Put away my Celebrate. And then I'm also going to grab my outline of the word you and put that onto my other Celebrate block. This is where I wish I had more blocks, but priorities. Do I want more blocks or do I want more stamps? I think I can just handle moving things around. All right, so I'm going to get some Blackberry Bliss ink. I am actually going to stamp the whole You Are Incredible sentiment. I'm not even going to bother trying to just ink up part of it. And I'm just stamping it kind of anywhere inside that space because I'm going to be fussy cutting it. Sorry for those of you who don't like fussy cutting. And I'm actually going to fussy cut it before we do our next bit of stamping, because I want to use it as a guide for where I'm going to stamp my word you. I know it's always a hard call. Yeah, every once in a while I throw a block onto an order and then wish I had ordered like 10 more, but it happens over time. All right. Here we go. So as I fussy cut this, you can be as like finicky about how far in you're weaving and all that, or you can just kind of chop it more straight. Totally up to you. But I am cutting off the word you. It's gone because we're going to stamp it nice, big, and bold. All right. So here we go. Keep fussy cutting. Yeah. Up in there. So zipping around. And finish off with this E. There we go. Oops. All right, so you are incredible. And that's going to go right about there. So I'm now going to ink up my word you with my Blackberry Bliss. I am going to come in here and line it up where I want it so that it's just under that you are incredible. And I'm going to move that you are incredible away and stamp my word. All right, so there we go. We've got that stamped. Now we have to get it colored. And so I used Blackberry Bliss and Berry Burst there, and Berry Burst blends. Now I got a little crazy with it and used all four. You don't have to go that crazy. You could just use 2 of them and blend it. It's going to work out just as well. Oh, I know the Stampin' Up! Blocks are so nice with the rounded edges and everything. So nice. So I am going to start with the darkest color, which is my dark Blackberry Bliss. And I'm using my paintbrush tip. I'm really not doing much of this though. I'm coming in and doing like a little loopy loop across the bottom and a little tap there. Okay, then I'm going to grab my light Blackberry Bliss and I am going to go down over top of some of my dark Blackberry Bliss. There we go. And a little bit down over it. All right. Now I'm going to take my dark Berry Burst and I'm going to color that and color down a bit. Color that. Oops, I skipped a piece. Don't skip any. There we go. And right like that. And just like that. And now my final one is my light Berry Burst. And I'm actually going to do like pretty much my whole U in this, right down over top of everything. Okay, that's going to help this blend. There we go. Yeah. And then finally my Y. There we go. So that is my whole U all colored in. And I know it looks really nice. It's a little bit more work. And the color's not great on the screen, I don't think, but it really blends so nicely. So that is what we're doing with our Berry Burst and our Blackberry Bliss blends. And I mean, you have all 4 anyways if you have the 2 colors because they come in a double pack. So might as well use them all. All right, we're now going to glue this layer to our Blackberry Bliss. Come on. Come on, come on. There we go. And glue that onto there. Voila. And then we are going to, you have a choice here. You can use mini glue dots or not glue dots, oh my, mini dimensionals, or you can just cut up the edges of your regular dimensionals. So we want to place our dimensionals. Well, obviously one right there. You could almost fit a full-size one right there. And then I'm looking at this and I think it's even too small for minis. So I'm going to cut up the edge of my minis and just make a very, very thin little strip here. And, okay, go away. And I am going to actually just see, oh yeah, I can just put that right on there. So I don't even have to cut that up into bits. I am just going to take this very thin strip of dimensional, put it across there, and now I'll peel those backings off. And this goes on. Oops, don't stick yet. I'm not ready. This goes on below the U. It's going to cover up a little bit of the U and go off the edge just a tiny bit. All right, so that piece is now ready to go onto our card front. I am going to grab some dimensionals and pop that right onto our card front. So here we go. Doing one in each corner and one in our center. Here we go, that one. And then this gets completely centered, well, the best you can, onto your card front. Whoa. So we bring that in, and the best we can. It's a little bit easier because we have the like almost grid paper pattern. So it allows you to really get that nicely centered. So we put that on, and now we're going to create our flowers for our card. So I used the Petal Park Punch. See if I can get it so you guys can see that. So it's 3 little flowers and a leaf. I just took a strip of paper and cut out my Granny Apple green paper, and then a whole bunch of berry burst to do our triple petals. Now I thought they needed just a little something though. Let's see. I think it's over here though. But I've got my, yeah, there we go. So I use a little lipstick holder to hold all my little sponge stoppers. Now I'm going to check this out. Blackberry Bliss is a really powerful color. I might still have, oh yeah, I might still have enough on here that I don't even need to re-dip into my ink. It's very, very powerful. So if you do ink your sponge dauber up, I suggest rubbing it off a bit onto a scrap paper before you start, so that you don't get like really blotchy. You want it to be a little bit subtle. And this is like, I can't even believe this. I designed these cards like over a week ago and haven't used this since, and it's still like moist and so powerful with the color. So I'm going to do this little sponge daub across the edges of all my petals. So 6 different ones because we've got 3 flowers. There we go. You can see it really goes a long way once you've inked up with that Blackberry Bliss. All right. Okay, and last one. And so it just makes a really big difference on these being just kind of boring flower punches to now having all sorts of depth and interest to them. And you can do this color on color or tone on tone, or really get funky and switch up the colors that you're doing the edges with, and have a lot of fun with this punch. All right, I'm going to put that blend away. and grab my green. Apple green. So I'll just actually show you quickly. I just got a little lipstick holder, and then I put little color dots in the bottoms. Oops, that one popped up. It's little color dots so I know where they go back, so my colors don't blend into each other. All right, now my Granny Apple Green isn't quite as crazy powerful, so I will just come in and give it a little dab before I start to dab the color onto my leaves. There we go. There's one, and we just have 3 little leaves to do here. Like that, and last one. Okay, now we get to build these flowers. We're going to use mini glue dots to build these flowers. So I'm going to grab my mini glue dots, and I like to use a take your pick tool. Oh yeah. So yeah, you can buy them like on Amazon or whatever, and it's just like I don't know. My Nana used to sell Avon, so I'm used to seeing like a bajillion different colors of lipsticks all in one place, and she had a little lipstick holder like that. And it works very, very well for holding your sponge toppers. All right, so we're going to take the 3 different sizes and layer them up on each other. And I do try to do it so that like they're not all together. So like the petal points are going towards the dips on the other petals, and kind of get them all layered up like that. So you put them together like how it looks appealing to you. And yeah, so we just layer these up. There we go. And one more. Nope, I need the glue dot. All right. And just like that. All right, once we have those layered up, we're going to put dimensionals on the backs of them. But actually, before we do that, I'm going to grab my little piece of twine, and I'm just going to do 2 bunny ears, wrap one around the other, and make like a big loose floppy bow. Okay, this does not need to look pretty or fancy or anything. It's just a big loose bow, and we're going to get a mini glue dot, put it up here in the left hand corner of our piece, and I'm going to pop this on so that it doesn't fully cover up my U and it doesn't fully go off my card. So just like on a nice angle like that. So it's just kind of near the corner, near my words. And most times I'm glue dot challenged. Oh, that's hilarious. You know what? I find the take your pick tool really eases up how we use our glue dots and makes it so that they're not sticking to everything. So it's way better. All right, so 2 dimensionals, one on the back of each of my flowers. And then, oops, I am going to just kind of pop these down so that they're covering up each other slightly and covering up where that knot is for my twine. All right, so just like that. Now we're going to grab more glue dots. I'm going to put them on the back of these leaves though. So I'm looking at where did I sponge? I'm putting it on the back opposite end of where I sponged. And then I'm tucking them under. Kind of pick them up from your sponged edge, flip it over, and oops, come on, stay. There we go. And tuck that under. And last one. Yeah, and if they get all curled and bunched up, that's okay, because it just means that the leaf's not going to sit totally flat, which gives it some dimension, some depth. All right, now we get to add our bling. We're going to do one in each of the centers of our flowers. So we're going to do the nice big ones there. You could use your take your pick tool for this part as well if you wanted. I find these are pretty easy though with my fingers. And then I'm going to scatter some more on my card. So I have 5 on there in total. And I kind of have like a triangle and a triangle. And that is our second card all done. Yeah, so it's a beautiful one. I love the colors, and I can't wait to send this one out. Too many people to choose from to send it to, though. All right, so that's card number 2. And our last card was Noah's favorite. He's always commenting on my stuff as I'm down here designing, and he loves this one. It's so much fun. I felt like I needed to do something with all of that pretty DSP, and I couldn't decide which one to use. So why not use them all? So in your pack, you'll get all of your cardstock and designer series paper strips and the black baker's twine there and everything that you need to create 2 of this card. So here is the deal with this one. It's just a lot of gluing. It's so much fun though. So pretty. All right, so we have basic white card base, and we have a basic black layer. We're going to do most of our work on this little white layer, but we're going to get our stamping out of the way. So I'm going to take that white layer. I'm not even going to bother like doing anything to it yet. And I'm going to put it so it has an equal border on the 2 sides and the bottom. And we've got this nice space up here. I am going to take my embossing buddy and really wipe that down. Okay. And, oh, I guess I should probably get my stamp on my block. So I'm going to clean this guy up. I'm going to use my Simply Chamois to do that. Love this thing because it's just water. And then you basically just stamp your stamps on there and they are clean. So we're going to move away that. You are incredible. And we're going to replace it with the outline of the word wishing. So now to mount that, I just put it down on my table and then lift it up on my block. So we're going to stamp the word wishing onto our black layer with Versamark. Okay, so I ink that up. I'm using this as a guide so I can center it. And then I stamp that. And then I remove my white piece. I am going to run this through my white powder. There we go. And then before I heat emboss it, I'm just going to double check that I get rid of any stray pieces I don't want. That white line on there, we can go ahead and get rid of it later. It's just from the embossing buddy where it hit the white layer I had on there. We'll move that later. And we're going to just there we go. So we have our word wishing all heated up there. And I can just wipe away some of that extra powder now. All right, so this layer is going to go on here. But before we do that, we're going to get it all decorated up into our rainbow. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to start with our piece of red designer series paper. Now, these might not all be exactly the right size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them down, making sure that they're all even to the right hand side, so that if I have to trim, I'm only trimming one side. Now, I need to do this with liquid glue. I could never get these on perfectly straight if I was using like Seal Plus or something. I have to be able to wiggle these to get them into position. So I'm going to put some liquid glue on there. I'm going to start with my red up at the very top. Remember, we're making sure, actually that piece fits perfectly. It doesn't even need to be trimmed, but we're making sure that we're lining them up all on one edge. Now I'm going to come in with my purple. So just like on my last card where I built from the outside in, I'm going to build from the outside in again, because then I can make sure to get things spaced. Now that one is a little long, so I'm going to make sure that on the left side it's all squared in, and then I can trim up the extra on the other side. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is put down my piece of Coastal Cabana cardstock. I know it has no sentiment on it, that's okay. And we're going to leave just a little space there. Oops. Again, making sure that it's all lined up on the left. I don't really care, or on the right, I don't really care about the left. And then I'm going to come in with my orange. And try and leave kind of an equal space. Line it up on my right. Now I'm going to do my green. There we go. Just like that. And then we have to do a little bit of stamping on our yellow before we pop it in there. So I'm going to get my little piece of lemon lolly here. I'm going to, oops, I just dropped something. Oh, my embossing buddy. I'm going to get my little block here, and I've got, actually I'm going to get two of them. I've got the little outline for my diamonds, and I've got the little filler for my diamonds. And I'm going to grab my lemon lolly. Oh no, did I decide lemon lolly was too light? Let me check. Yeah, lemon lolly was too light. Couldn't see it. So I'm going to use Daffodil Delight on here so that it stands out a bit more. All right, and we're just creating like a little diagonal here with diamonds. So come on in here with a diamond and another set of diamonds, diamonds and diamonds, and more and more. So just really like quick diagonal across, and then we're going to come back and do just a few solid ones. And even turn it around like that and like that. All right, so just a cute little diagonal there. Now we can attach this to our card front. Okay, come on. There we go. All right. So I put that, and then this one I just try and evenly space between the two colors on there. All right. There you have it. So now you can see I've got just a few little bits hanging off. So I am going to pop over to my paper trimmer and just cut those off. Okay. There we go. So now we have a beautiful layer that we can glue right onto here. Okay, so we're just going to leave a nice border around that piece as we glue it onto our basic black. All right. There. All right, so I do want my red at the top, my purple at the bottom, and there we have it. Okay, now this layer will get glued to our card base, but first of all, I'm going to take a piece of black twine and wrap it around this whole layer. Oh, I got a lot more than I needed. Wow. Okay. I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm going to tie a knot. So now my knot didn't end up exactly where I wanted it. That's okay, because I can swoosh it around. All right. So I've got that knot, and then I'm going to make 2 bunny ears. Wrap one around the other. Oh, come on. There we go. And then you can just play with this until it is a bow that is the size and shape that you want it to be. And then you can also go ahead and trim the ends so that they are the length that you want them to be. I think I want that just a tiny bit smaller. I do like to hold the knot when I'm pulling on the ends. There we go. All right, that's a nice size. Trim that one, and voila. All right, I'm happy with that bow now. Oh, yeah, Noah loved this card. I think maybe the others were like too purpley pinky for him. Whereas this one's all fun colors. All right, so we've got that. We can glue this to our card base now. If you wanted to, you could pop it up, but we're about to pop up the next layer, so because there's one more layer to go on this. We still have our words to add. So this gets centered on our basic white card base. There we go. And we still have 2 pieces of cardstock left to work with because we need to create the rest of our sentence. We only have wishing on here. We need the wishing you the best day ever. So I can put away my glue now. I've got my U, but it is covered in blackberry bliss. So let's give that a little cleanup. And we're going to stamp it onto our basic white using Memento black ink. And there we go. All right, now I'm going to clean that and replace it with the inside image. So for every one of our big words, we have celebrate, wishing, you, and love. They all come with an outline and with a filler. So now I'm going to ink up my filler with Granny Apple Green. And I'm also going to grab a piece of scrap paper because we're not going to do this one full strength. I am going to stamp it off and then stamp it in. There we go. All right. So just a nice little way to lighten that up a bit because Granny Apple Green is quite a vivid color. All right. Then we need the words the best day ever. So I gotta find those in here. The best day ever. And these ones can go onto a small block. There we go. And we're going to stamp those in Memento black ink. There we go. Now this one I do find easier to do horizontally. There we go. The best day ever. All right. We have more fussy cutting, guys. Sorry. We are going to fussy cut the word you. It's actually not as bad as you would imagine. You can go pretty quickly. And you can also choose to like really fussy cut it or just partially fussy cut it. So I'm starting with a partial, and then I'm going to go back and add the details. So there's my partial, just kind of really a quick cut. And then I'm going to come back in and really cut this out. I find it helps though, because then I know where to stop down at the bottom of my letters. There we go. Right. Come in here. And this one is like almost cut through. We just slightly keep the Y attached. Okay. And same with this one. I'm going to cut down and then cut in. Oops, too far in. There we go. And then finally our U. Just go around. So I'm turning the paper, not my scissors. There we go. All right, so now we have our U cut out. We remove all these little scraps. And finally, we are going to attach these. So I'm going to use mini glue dots to attach these, both the U and the best day ever, to my card. So I'm going to flip them over, find my minis. And for my U, I'm going to do the bottom of the Y and the outside top of my Y, middle of my O, the bottom of my U, and the top of my U. Okay. You could do the other side of your U and your Y if you wanted, but it's not really necessary. All right. And that gets attached to our yellow layer. There we go. And then I'm just going to use 3 here on our Coastal Cabana. One in the middle, one on each end. And our Coastal Cabana can go on top of our Coastal Cabana. There we go. Now we add our bling. So again, we're using the gorgeous faceted, iridescent faceted gems. So a couple down there, and one way up here. And that is our 3rd card all completed. Okay, lots and lots of practice. Lots and lots of practice. All right. So I will just bring back all of our cards from today to show you the full collection. And there we go. So those are our 3 cards from today's Happy Little Things card class to go. So it's a $60 order. Will get you the make and take kits for these 3 cards. And it is such a great time to be making a purchase because we have that bundle sale. If you don't have a die cut machine yet, we also have the 10% off the die cut machine. So it's a fantastic deal. And then you get this as a little thank you from me. So I hope you had a wonderful time watching that. I hope if you've got this set that you are grabbing some paper and getting started designing and crafting. And I look forward to chatting with you. If you have any questions or need help placing an order, let me know. And have fun browsing the online store and seeing all the bundles that we've got. Have a great day, everyone. Bye, Kim. Thanks for watching.